What's up with the chat? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all two them Mrs. Zoo rock. They rock with me and I'm rocking with y'all, man. What's going on? What's going on? My shit really just glitching. Where's that me looking at this shit like, what's going on, man? Just random. I don't know. That should be doing some stupid shit. So we about to go check out some shit, man. Just check out some shit. What's going on in the world? Motherfucker says some shit going down. We about to go see what's popping. It says some shit going down. They even just said, apparently, what we got going on is that nigga, what the fuck that nigga just say? Lil TJ, yeah, Lil TJ just shot at, what's his name? Yeah. This happened just an hour ago, bro. They said this nigga just shot Offset. They said Lil TJ just shot Offset, and this is kind of crazy, bro. Just even think about that. Like, what is going down? We gotta see what's cracking with that.
YouTube. Bro. Chicks.
Got an intellectual curiosity about things.
Streets, and more importantly, stay out the casinos. Now, according to TMZ, Offset was just shot in the leg at a Florida casino. Now, initial reports came out that it was
Shut
just...
up. Nigga, we ain't trying to hear you, nigga. We know this
Offset
nigga's a
got
snitch.
shot about an hour
This
ago in
nigga's a
the
snitch.
stomach after slapping the living ish out of Lil TJ in Florida. Before we even discuss
He the
what took
snitch.
place today, let's rewind a little bit to talk about why Offset and Lil TJ even got beef or why there was even an altercation today. So Lil TJ came on social media about this time last year to expose Offset for being in debt and owing him money and not wanting to pay. Lil TJ will call Offset a broke, you know what, and claim
Ooh.
nobody should ever borrow Offset money ever again because he's a bum who won't pay it back.
Why this Offset? Offset broke. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all the stream too. That broke. That pop. I'll tell y'all a true story. I ain't got nothing to do with that casino. He was popped. He was panicking. He was asking random people for cash apps. He was broke. I don't know what happened. Nobody was answering his phone call. He popped,
What?
trying to run up, chasing. Must got a gambling addiction. Yo, he just popped. He called cash apps in front of me. I ain't gonna lie to you. The first 5 I offered, I'm like, yo, you pop. You waiting for some bread? For my money. I swung that 5. You know how I get. He gets popped. Not us two dicing each other. He gets popped straight to the casino. Goes nap. He get another loan from somebody for like 2 bands. I don't even take my loan. I'm like, that's Offset. I'm good on my money. I'm worried about the.
First of all, you ain't dropping shows like that. But nigga, he said he good on his money, so we gotta take his word. But did that nigga Offset really owe the casino, bro? And the casino shot that nigga?
Got mad,
And
bro.
they blaming it on Lil TJ?
5 bands. He popped for the.
Lil TJ could have had a better approach.
Right.
But, yo, after a while of you owing me my money, man, I don't feel like I got to be a gentleman anymore about it, bro. Like, you know you owe me money, but you're ducking me. So TJ wrote Offset and he says, where you at? Where you at? Not gonna lie, I'ma slap the whole ish out of you. Offset responded back, huh? You joking, right? Now, Lil TJ don't even know. And Igaboo loved this. Understand what I mean when I say an Igaboo loved this. Now, I don't borrow Igga's money for a reason because I know how that turns out. Igga will want to beef with you about the same money he owes you. Lil TJ don't even know he just gave Offset a way out. Igaboos are already looking not to pay you back. And their path of action not to pay you back, they usually pretend like it's smoke. They usually fake a beef with you. So Lil TJ beat Offset to the punch. Offset was already gonna try to fake a beef with Lil TJ so he don't have to pay him back.
Right.
Lil
Incoming
TJ
ad
saying
break,
that,
this
Offset
comes
like, oh my, today is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it, man. I don't gotta pay back that low money because of smoke. Offset told that boy, I'ma smoke you about the money you owe me. You gonna kill me about money you owe me? Nah, I don't borrow Igga's
That's
money,
what
man.
niggas do.
I don't even deal with Igga's when it comes to things like this, man. Somebody says, Offset says, you barely lived already. Who the F you think you talking to, ninja? You gotta be talking to the wrong ninja. I'm in New York right now. Come smack me, little boy. So Lil TJ was the one who posted this, by the way, and he tagged Offset and he says, Offset, yo, pay that tab, homie. Don't fade yourself over a little 10-pack. TJ responded back to Offset and he says, Miami. Offset says, if it's that, stop DMing me for trace reasons. TJ says, nah, never that, little bro. I just want my 10. Offset says, say that. Now, Lil TJ shared this and he says, do not loan Offset no money. He's popped. LOL, just in case. Lil TJ then made an Instagram post where he says, I could never be broke like Offset running off making smoke over lunch money. I'ma have to smoke on 100 streams for it to get to all that. But yeah, free smoke tomorrow for ninjas. Offset then commented and he tags Lil TJ and he says, let's hit on live. I'll fly to you. This ain't gonna stop your fell off allegations. Offset then says, meet me in New York and give me a one on live. I've seen Lil TJ fight playfully. I've seen Offset fight on camera. Let's just say, based on my understanding and expert analysis of their Igga chakra, I'll probably give the advantage to Offset. I don't feel like Lil TJ really wants to fight Offset particularly, but once it goes to social media, there's really no copping it, because the first person to DM the other person and say, hey man,
you sure?
What are we doing, bro? Bro, let's just talk about it. And there's a screenshot of that person DMing the other person first. Now that person is going to be known as a mark and a buster online. Right? That's just a fact.
Facts.
Now, this could be avoided if Offset didn't have a gambling addiction. Offset has a gambling addiction, bro.
We know that.
Lil TJ isn't the only one.
Let me tell you something about niggas that got a gambling addiction. Nigga, when you got that much money, you just want to win more money. And gambling is one way your ass is going to win more money, being a rich motherfucker. Because imagine if you put down, say this, and when you rich, it doesn't hurt to say, I spent $10,000 to $5,000 to $20,000 and won 1.3 million. You see what I'm saying? Or my little 20 ball turns into $300,000, $200,000. You feel me? That's a profit for you as being rich. Plus, these niggas is in contract, so they get to take that shit in cash. Like, that's theirs, nigga. You feel me? That's why he said niggas be broke, because that be they fucking contract money, nigga. That be shit in advance. They really don't want to spend that because they got to pay that back. But if they could spend a little bit of it and then win it at the casino, nigga, they gonna be like, yeah, nigga, fuck it. Nigga, I'll give this money back to the contract. Now I got a nigga 300, 400,000 legitimately in my account.
One that Offset owes money to. Like, Offset got exposed by Selena Powell by calling her in the middle of the night at the casino and asked her to bring him $15,000 so he could keep on gambling. He's a fiend. Now, just like Lil TJ, he didn't pay back Selena Powell either.
Like, yo,
Suffer as I have suffered. Die.
I need a favor. This
Wait,
is a
let's
test.
not skip over that. He told her to he still needed that. He still needed that.
Yeah. Oh. So
this is the last bitch you should have ever asked for a favor.
I did a favor and this is a test. I was like, okay, what? He was like, how much money can you get or are you buy? And I was like, I mean, like I have I sent him the video, like all that money that I have in my safe.
You're rich.
And he immediately called me. He called me back and then he was like, bring all of it. And I was like, I don't even know how much this is. He was like, bring all of it because I have a ton of 20s and then like hundreds.
At the time, not now, currently.
No, yeah, no.
Because, continue. Keep going.
Cause now, so then he was like, yeah, bring all of it. So I actually did, but in my mind, I was like, I can't give him the 20s. Like, let me just give him the hundreds. He was like counting out in the car. I went to the casino, by the way. I'm not gonna do every single detail and have this.
She's working on her 40-minute straight drive.
And just like Offset did to Lil TJ, when it came back to paying back the money he borrowed, all of a sudden Offset created beef so he don't got to pay it back. So Selena Powell would post on her social media that she was getting threatened by Offset because she asked Offset to pay back the money that he owes her. So she took to her social media to says, if anything happens to me, Offset did it. She would also go and says, tired of this grown
man threatening me. Tired of this grown man threatening me. Also, every day and got me living in fear because he owes me 15 plus K. You know what I'm saying? 15K plus. And I'm trying to get my money back this week, and all I got is threats at Offset. You know, she's sending niggas to jail. See what she almost did to Drewski.
Grown man threatening me almost every day and got me living in fear because he owes me $15,000. I tried to get my money back for weeks, and all I've gotten is threats. So this is like the Offset play, man. If you've been around people, serial money borrowers, always wanting something from you, always go, you know what I'm talking about, bruh. These people, they're sociopaths. They do these things, man. They get your money, then they create a beef with you so they don't got to pay it back. This is the play for broke, thirsty, dumb dusties. I just wouldn't think that Offset, who's a multimillionaire, would have to go down to this extent to create problems for himself so he don't have to pay back thousands of dollars when you are a millionaire. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. Now, Selena Powell would even post a particular video from Offset, like pretty much exposing him in 4K as well. And here's what the video has to say.
He ain't got money.
What?
Okay.
Think shit sweet. I'm thinking sweet. Shit ain't sweet, mama. On my mama, it ain't. My mama, you think you seen something every time? Why did?
Okay.
So, like this is just absurd, man. And apparently, Offset kept the same energy in person when he seen Lil TJ. The incident happened near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. Now, Offset was indeed shot in the leg. Offset was transported to the hospital. He was listed in stable condition. Now, he's still in the hospital as far as I was told. Now, a rep for the Seminole County Police Department tells TMZ, we are aware of an incident that occurred at a valet area after 7 p.m. Monday outside of Seminole Hard Rock, Hollywood, that resulted in non-life-threatening injuries to an individual who was transported to Memorial Regional Hospital in Hollywood. The rep added Seminole police were on site immediately and the situation was contained quickly. 2 individuals have been detained by police. The investigation is ongoing. The site is secure and there is no threat to the public. Operations continue as normal. Here's what happened, okay? Lil TJ and Offset are both at this casino. Offset is a gambling addict. Offset is at the casino almost every day. If you're somebody who wants to meet Offset one day, go to a casino in Florida.
Oh, shit.
Gucci walk in the damn studio, bro. With his people. To Draco's. The fucking footage is going to show Pooh Shisty had one on him. Big 30 had one on him.
Names in rap history, a man who built an entire empire from the ground up got robbed at gunpoint in a recording studio by his own artist. And that's not even the craziest part, because Pooh Shisty's dad helped plan the whole thing. Big 30 was there blocking the door so nobody could escape. They flew a whole crew from Memphis to Dallas specifically for this operation. And when it was all over, they posted the stolen Rolex watches on Instagram. Bro, I am not even lying. But here's what y'all need to understand before we get into it. This wasn't random. This wasn't just some beef that popped off. According to the DOJ, this was a calculated, coordinated setup. And to understand why Pooh Shisty allegedly put a gun in Gucci Mane's face, we gotta go back and break down everything that led to this moment. Stay until the end, because the evidence the feds have on these guys, that's where it gets actually insane. Let me break it down for you real quick, because some of y'all might be sleeping on how big this actually is. Gucci Mane, real name Radrick Davis, is not just a rapper. He is one of the founding fathers of trap music. The man launched more careers than almost anyone in Atlanta history. Waka Flocka, Young Thug, Future, Migos, all of them have credited Gucci Mane as a blueprint. He built his 1017 Records label from scratch, went to federal prison himself, came home, got clean, got in shape, got married, and rebuilt his entire brand into something even bigger. That second chapter for Gucci, that's where Pooh Shiesty enters the picture. Around 2020, Gucci Mane was on a mission to rebuild 1017 records with new talent. He had
And for the people that really don't know who Gucci Mane is, not this new Gucci, the old Gucci Mane would really smoke this boy. He would have killed Pooh Shiesty. And I'm not putting that out there saying like he's a killer or something. I'm just saying back then the old Gucci was really on top of shit. It wasn't no joke, but hey man, each his own.
An eye for raw, authentic energy. And when he heard a young rapper out of Memphis named Lontrell Williams Jr. going by Pooh Shiesty, he knew immediately what he had. Pooh Shiesty had been grinding independently, no label, no cosign, just Memphis energy and internet streams. But it was real, it was catching, and Gucci recognized it. So in April 2020, Gucci Mane signed Pooh Shiesty to 1017 Records, a joint venture with Atlantic Records. And what happened next? That's where the story goes from a regular come-up to something that nobody saw coming. And one. What if I told you that within 6 months of signing, Pooh Shiesty had a top 15 record on the Billboard Hot 100? No cap. November 2020, he drops Back in Blood featuring Lil Durk. It hits number 13. Then he gets featured on Spot 'em Got 'em's Beatbox 2, peaks at number 12. 2 top 15 records in his first year signed. Then in February 2021, he drops his debut tape, Shiesty Season. It debuts at number 3 on the Billboard 200 as a debut. From a 20-year-old from Memphis who a year earlier had 0 major label backing. Chat, are we surprised Gucci wasn't trying to let this man out of his contract? Because I'm not surprised, not even a little. But here's the other side of this that matters for the story. Pooh Shiesty didn't just bring himself to 1017, he also brought his cousin. Big Scar, real name Alexander Woods, was another Memphis rapper who had been grinding in the streets. Survived a car accident at 16 that left scars on his face. Got shot in the hip in 2020. Bullet traveled up to his chest. Doctors had to split him open to save his life. This man went through it, and Pooh Shiesty took his music and put it directly in front of Gucci Mane. Gucci heard it and signed Big Scar immediately. So now you've got Pooh Shiesty putting on his cousin, his whole Memphis crew has a platform, and Gucci Mane is the man who made all of it possible. This is where it gets complicated, because everything Gucci gave, he also held. And those contract terms, Pooh Shiesty was about to feel them in the worst way. So get this, right in the middle of all that momentum, while Back in Blood is still charming the charts, things start going sideways legally for Pooh Shiesty. October 2020, he and 2 other men allegedly drove to a hotel in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida to buy marijuana and a pair of high-end sneakers from 2 men. According to federal prosecutors, instead of paying, they shot both men and drove off with the goods. Surveillance cameras caught the whole thing, including a lime green McLaren leaving the scene. Then Memorial Day weekend 2021, he allegedly shot a security guard in the leg at the King of Diamonds strip club in Miami during an altercation over money. 2 open felony cases in Florida while he's a rising rap star. July 2021, federal indictment, conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of crimes of violence and drug trafficking. A potential life sentence hanging over a 21-year-old rapper with 2 top 15 records. January 2022, he takes a plea deal, pleads guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to possess firearms, gets sentenced to 63 months in federal prison. He goes in at 22 years old, his career on pause, his fans waiting, and his 1017 contract still very much in effect. Bro, that's actually crazy when you think about it. He's behind bars, can't make music, can't tour, can't earn, and Gucci Mane still owns a major piece of his masters and his deal. The contract doesn't pause when you go to prison, it just sits there waiting. And while Pooh Shiesty was sitting in a cell, something happened on the outside that changed everything. Y'all are not ready for this part. December 22nd, 2022. Big Scar, Pooh Shiesty's cousin, the man he personally put on at 1017, the man who survived multiple near-death experiences just to finally get his shot, dies from a drug overdose at his girlfriend's home in Memphis. He is 22 years old. Pooh Shiesty is in federal prison when this happens. Can't be at the funeral, can't be there for the family, just sitting with that grief from behind bars. And then the story coming out of Memphis goes viral, and it is not pretty for Gucci Mane. Big Scar's brother, Quez Ruthless, goes live on Instagram and says Gucci promised to cover the funeral costs and then blocked the family when they called to confirm. He said Gucci told them he couldn't pay for the funeral because his wife's birthday was coming up. Oh my God, bro. But wait, that's not even the part that really hit different on the streets. Quez also said on that live that Gucci Mane asked for the 1017 chain back, the chain he gave Big Scar when he signed him. His artist just passed away. Body's not even in the ground, and allegedly the first order of business was getting the chain back. Big Scar's sister Alexandra confirmed it on social media. Said yes, he asked for the chains back. Said the chains were staying with the family. Now Gucci's team disputed the funeral story. His wife posted receipts showing $20,000 paid to the funeral home, but the total cost was $60,000. And the chain conversation? That one stuck. On the streets, in Memphis, and in a federal prison cell where Pooh Shisty was sitting with nowhere to go and nothing to do but think. That's his cousin, his blood, the rapper he vouched for. And in the week of that man's passing, the main conversation allegedly became jewelry and funeral expense disputes. No cap, if you're already feeling some type of way about your contract, and then you hear about how your cousin's family got treated, that changes how you see a person. That changes what you're willing to do when you finally get out. Fast forward to October 6th, 2025. Pooh Shisty walks out of federal prison after serving over 3 years. He's 25 years old and he's hungry. The rap game kept moving without him, but his name still carried weight. He's placed in a residential re-entry program in Dallas, Texas. Ankle monitor on. Home detention conditions active. He cannot leave without authorization, cannot possess a firearm, cannot commit another crime, any violation, and he goes right back to finish the rest of his sentence plus whatever new time gets added. December 2025. He drops FDO, meaning first day out. It debuts at number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100. Chat, are we surprised? His very first song back and it charts immediately. The fan base is still there. The momentum is real. But here's where it gets crazy. Despite that chart performance, despite the proof that he's still a commercially viable artist, he is still locked into his 1017 deal. And according to everything the DOJ laid out, Pooh Shisty wanted out of that contract badly. Years in prison feeling trapped under terms he agreed to when he was a teenager, watching his cousin's family go through drama with the label, coming home to find Gucci still holding all the cards. He wanted freedom, and he allegedly decided to get it himself. This is where it goes from a music industry story to a federal kidnapping case. So, get this. According to the DOJ, the plan didn't just involve Pooh Shisty. His own father was allegedly in on it from the beginning. Lontrell Williams Sr., the man who founded Mob Ties Records in Memphis, the man who rapped as Mob Boss and brought his son into studios as a child, is accused by federal prosecutors of helping plan and execute the entire operation. He allegedly rented the car the group used to move around Dallas. Father and son coordinating a kidnapping together, I kid you not. Then there's the crew. Cell phone records and license plate reader data show multiple defendants traveling from Memphis to Dallas together in the days before January 10th. These people didn't just show up. This was organized movement, coordinated travel, a crew assembled specifically for this. And then there's Big 30, real name Rodney Lamont Wright Jr., childhood friend of Pooh Shisty, also from Memphis. They grew up together, made neighbors together, are as close as it gets in this industry. But here's the thing. Big 30 is signed to Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang label, not 1017. He has zero personal beef with Gucci Mane. No contract dispute, no grievances, nothing. He was there for one reason only, because his brother from Memphis called him. Y'all seeing this? A man with his own career, his own momentum, completely outside of this situation. And he shows up anyway, because loyalty. That loyalty is about to cost him everything. So you've got the father coordinating logistics. You've got Memphis members making the drive. You've got Big 30 ready to move, and you've got Pooh Shisty on an ankle monitor, on home detention, not supposed to leave, not supposed to touch a firearm, getting ready to walk into that studio. January 10th, 2026, Dallas, Texas, a recording studio. Gucci Mane and 2 other music industry professionals travel to Dallas for what they believe is a contract discussion with Pooh Shisty.
That shit crazy. That shit crazy.
They gonna be like, Shasty, why you do that, dude? Cause I was trying to get me some Ben and some Gigi fools. I mean, like, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Shiesty. This is presented as a legitimate business meeting. Pooh Shiesty himself arranged it, framing it as a conversation about his recording contract terms. Gucci Mane shows up. He even has off-duty police officers with him as security. Professional, above board, a normal industry meeting. And then Pooh Shiesty and his 8 co-conspirators execute what the DOJ calls an armed takeover. Bro, armed takeover. That's the language the federal government used. Pooh Shiesty pulls out an AK-style pistol, points it at one of the victims, and according to federal prosecutors, forces that person to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. That is what this entire operation was built for. Get those papers signed. Get the freedom. Just allegedly at the end of a Draco instead of through a lawyer. While Pooh handles the contract situation, the rest of the crew draws weapons on the other victims. Rolex watches stripped off, jewelry taken, cash gone. And one victim, according to the DOJ, was choked to the point of near unconsciousness. They have photos of the injuries to the wrist and neck.
Damn.
And Big 30, he's at the door the whole time, physically barricading it so nobody can leave, nobody can call for help, nobody can escape. Under federal law, that makes him just as criminally responsible for everything that happened on the other side of that door. And remember those off-duty police officers Gucci Mane brought for security? They witnessed every single second of it. Trained law enforcement, first-hand eyewitnesses. That's not one civilian account. Those are credentialed law enforcement observations that are now federal witness testimony. What the? Bro, this is actually insane. Here's where it gets really insane, because the feds didn't just have eyewitnesses, they had everything. The ankle monitor Pooh Shiesty was wearing as part of his home detention, it placed him directly at the studio location. His own government-mandated tracking device recorded his presence at the scene of the alleged crime and confirmed he violated his home confinement conditions. No cap, that might be the wildest detail of this entire situation. The monitor that was supposed to keep him in line became one of the main pieces of evidence against him. Then the cell phone records and license plate reader data confirmed the coordinated travel from Memphis to Dallas. Rental car records showed Williams Sr. booked the vehicle the crew used. Surveillance cameras caught activity at the studio, at a nearby office supply store, and at the hotel where multiple defendants stayed afterward. Blatant fingerprints recovered from the crime scene matched 2 defendants. And then, word to my mother, within hours of the robbery, multiple suspects were on social media posting the stolen goods.
So that's how quick motherfuckers is. Let me go rob a motherfucker, then go post it right on social media. Here go the stolen item. I really did it.
DeMarcus Glover posted pictures of himself wearing the stolen jewelry.
Nigga.
Terrence Rogers posted a video showing a Rolex believed to have been taken from the victims. You kidnap Gucci Mane, you rob him at gunpoint, and then you post the Rolexes on Instagram before the sun goes down. Greyhound records then showed multiple defendants catching the bus back from Dallas to Memphis the next day. They took a Greyhound home after robbing one of the biggest names in rap. Those bus records are now federal evidence. Chat, I genuinely cannot make this up. April 1st, 2026. FBI and DOJ coordinate simultaneous takedowns across 3 cities. In Memphis, agents raid the Williams family home in Cordova, Tennessee. Lontrell Williams Sr. is taken into custody there. The father, the alleged planner, arrested at the family house. Pooh Shiesty is arrested in Dallas, the same city where he'd been placed in his residential re-entry program. The man was supposed to be finishing his transition back to normal life. Instead, he got arrested in the city his ankle monitor had been tracking him in for months. Big 30 arrested. 6 other co-conspirators picked up across Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. 8 of 9 in custody in one day. The 9th, Terrence Rogers, still at large at the time of the press conference. And the charges? Kidnapping, armed robbery, conspiracy. Every single person involved faces up to life in prison upon conviction. Life. Pooh Shiesty had previously avoided a life sentence by taking a plea deal on his earlier firearms case. Now he's looking at potential life again. At 26 years old, 6 months after walking out of prison, while still on his ankle monitor. U.S. Attorney Ryan Raybould said it directly at the press conference. This case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business. And that's the full story of how Gucci Mane allegedly got robbed by his own artist, the man he discovered, signed, made a millionaire, and whose cousin he also put on. For real though, think about the full picture here. Gucci gave Pooh Shiesty everything. Major label deal, Atlantic Records distribution, a platform that took him from grinding in Memphis to number 3 on the Billboard 200 in under a year. He even signed Pooh's cousin off Pooh's recommendation. And according to the DOJ, Pooh Shiesty's response to feeling stuck in his contract was to fly his Memphis crew into Dallas, recruit his own father as a co-conspirator, recruit Big 30, who had absolutely nothing to do with any of this, and walk into a studio meeting with an AK-style pistol while wearing a government ankle monitor. Big 30 had his own career, his own lane, his own future, and because he showed up for his brother, he is now looking at life in a federal prison. The name has always been Shisty. His own late brother gave him that name because he felt it described exactly how Pooh moved through the world. And Gucci Mane, one of the most street-experienced figures in the history of this industry, signed that man and put his career in his hands.
Man,
Some
yes,
lessons
you
cost
did.
more than any recording contract ever
You
could.
put the
If you learned
shiestiest
something new
nigga
today,
in your
gang, hit that
hands.
like button and subscribe. We cover the stories the rest of the internet doesn't break all the way down. And if you want the full in-depth documentary on the entire Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane relationship,
over with.
from the come up to the contract to what happened
It's
in that
over
Dallas
with.
studio, that video is right here. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Boy.
If you have CalFresh, Medi-Cal, or SSI, you may qualify for a free iPhone 11, plus up to 10 gigabytes of data.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking with me. And for
2
this
weeks
video,
ago, Spot
we're
'em
gonna
got
be
'em?
speaking on Spot 'em got 'em getting smashed by the Bloods in Florida State Prison. When it comes to sliding on ops, well, Spot 'em got 'em wasn't doing any of that, but they was definitely doing it to him. The rapper blew up with his 2020 song Beatbox that turned into a TikTok sensation. A year later, he got fired up in a Miami drive-by and luckily survived being shot 5 times. A year after that, his rap career would be shot down after it was exposed by yours truly that he snitched on his fellow gang member, YNR Mookie.
YNR Mookie exited the apartment followed by Nehemiah Harden, who's more commonly known as Jacksonville rapper Spot 'em got 'em. Both men were detained as an officer conducted a search of the residence. In the bathroom, a 9mm Glock and 9mm Springfield XDS were found fully loaded, each equipped with an extended magazine and a round in the chamber. With the search of the apartment concluded, Mookie was read his Miranda rights and invoked his right to remain silent.
So Mookie invoked his right to remain silent. He didn't want to say nothing.
Spot 'em got 'em was then read his Miranda rights and provided the following statement. Spot 'em said he arrived at the house at 9 p.m., stating he was sleeping on the couch when the police lights shined through the window. At that time, Spot 'em said Mookie began pacing in the living room saying, "Dang man, the crackers are here." Spot 'em asked Mookie why he was freaking out, and Spot 'em told officers Mookie just kept repeating, "Dang man, dang man." Spot 'em stated he then observed Mookie walk into his bedroom and then walked out with items in his hand and a t-shirt covering them. Officers asked Spot 'em if he had any guess to what Mookie was carrying in his t-shirt, and Spot 'em said, "A pole."
So, I mean, this is the thing, right? The police are asking, what do they think he had? And, you know, Spot 'em got 'em says,
Damn.
guns. Pole. I asked Harden if he had used Spot 'em paid for a feature. Considered a TikTok-driven one-hit wonder, none of his releases would exceed beatbox in views, and the music began to slow down. Spot 'em was now making headlines for his arrests. A parking attendee was standing on business, telling Spot 'em and his 4-car entourage they need to pay the $80 parking fee. That's when the rapper pointed a gun with a green laser at him before telling him, "You know what it is," and fleeing the scene. Spot 'em would also be arrested for trying to flee police on a jet ski, and again for a high-speed chase in a Corvette which crashed. Officers recovered a Glock with a switch and found Spot 'em hiding in a shed. Fast forward to August 30th, 2024, Spot 'em would be sentenced to 3 years, 8 months, and 19 days in Florida State Prison. The internet began speculating if Spot 'em would last, knowing he stands a whopping 5'4". And
Hey, has it been 3 years for Spot 'em got 'em?
truth be told,
Has it been
it
3?
seems like Spot 'em was ready to find out. On
Has it been
September
3 years?
20th, 2024, Spot 'em would enter the
Damn. Oh yeah, it's been time.
The Florida Department of
It's been some
Corrections.
time on that
And only
nigga.
1 month later, he DM'd me saying, all my brothers murder I put on for this shit. I'm G's with all the homies. I got the blanket wrapped around me. And once my brother Mookie come home, all the fool ass allegations gonna be over with. I see you, homie, though. So to translate, Spottum Gardner's been claiming sex, money, murder for years. He's always throwing up B's, whatever. And he's basically saying he's with all the bros. He's with all the bloods. He's good. They got the blanket around him, meaning he's welcome. And he's saying YNR Mookie is going to clear his name when he comes home, as if we all can't read the paperwork for our logs of Spottum in cells are in the bathroom showing not only was he in prison, but he was in general population. Unfortunately, the shit didn't last long. A Florida blogger / TikToker from Madison County named DG Did It would post to Instagram a conversation with a current prisoner who not only witnessed Spottum get smashed off the pound, he ordered the hit.
So what the situation was, okay, you know you got these rat allegations on you. You got that you know that's blood, but he ended up getting in trouble because trying to bring him home money-wise, you feel me, trying to capitalize. So fool go to trying to be blood, so but before the got to the camp, the homies had already told him he can't be blood. So he tried to be west side, then he tried to be east side, then he tried to be Valentine. You feel me? He tried to jump to these different hoods, but had already stamped, you can't be blood. There's no rat. That's our laws. There's rules to this shit. You get what I'm saying? Long story short, bring him home one-on-one.
Oh, man.
The nigga who bring him home, we had a meeting with him, tell him that's a dub. He can't be homie. So he boot up on one of the homies. Okay, the big that poster brought him home, end up getting blowed. Boom, the homie shoot him. Just out of disrespect that you trying to bring a rat home, so you really saying fuck blood, there ain't nothing bigger than this beef. So then a little fool go to talking sporty about, you know, how he living on the streets, whatever, to one of the bros. But at the same time, being that you was stamped as a dub and you can't be blood and you allowed him to bring you home anywhere, now you just show major disrespect to the nation. So we gave them boys like 24 hours to get him off the compound. And shit, it wasn't happening. Okay, boom, fool end up checking it in. I guess somebody ended up calling his old girl, so his old girl called up here, they put him in a box. So Lil Gangsta, I ain't gonna lie, Lil Gangsta signed a waiver saying he don't wanna leave the compound. You know, he wanna stay on the pound, so he signed the waiver saying that if anything happened to him, they're responsible, they let him back on the pound. So now me and the bros are looking like, my bad, but me and the bros looking like, that's a dub, fool got to go. So they ended up, the nation ended up stamping him as a plate. You feel me? So they ended up saying that he was a celebrity. So when a become a celebrity, meaning shoot on sight, you feel me? You get what I'm saying? So when the homies get called to perform, nobody couldn't catch him because he wouldn't leave the dorm. You get what I'm saying? And being the officers, they not green, so they got whiff for everything. So every time he moved, they was moving with him. So you know, me being who I am, you feel me? You know, I'm barking with the homies like, yo, y'all making us look bad, cause when it's a who that on the plate, if it's a plate, he got to get off the compound. Cause then guess what, that compound go to looking like they not standing on business. So long story short, it was orchestrated, put the play in what it was, so he ended up getting out of confinement. When he ended up getting out of confinement now, he got to go to pick up his property. So when he was going to get his property, they had already orchestrated the play like this the best time to get him because he don't go nowhere. So we thinking it's gonna be sweet, but everything moving funny on the compound because it's like they know what's up. So he had a lady, an older officer, follow him. Well, she wasn't following him, my bad. He was walking over there and it's like, while we about to get him, you get what I'm saying? The lady just called him out the blue like, hey, spot him. He turn around, he go holler at her. I'm like, damn, that looking funny. Cause you know, I'm not there to shoot. I'm really just there to make sure nothing gonna go wrong. So she walked back with him, but she put it like a little 20 feet gap between her and him. So it wasn't shit, it ain't nothing else to say. The homie pulled up on him, shot him in his face and his neck, blowed him. He ran across the glass. towards where the lady was. So she like, you feel me? What's going on? Like, what's going on? He wasn't saying that at first, so then she see the blood leaking. He pointed back talking about, oh, some same rat shit. Oh, niggas over there. So I'm looking like, man, bitch, he pointed at me and my dog, like, you feel me? But the nigga who shot him already gone, you feel me? No face, no case, so, like, it wasn't
damn,
no
that nigga
camera,
stabbed that
blind
nigga.
spot, so he ended up getting gone, you feel me? But yeah, that's the whole situation with him transferring, bro. And everywhere he land at, it's gonna be a problem, you know what I'm saying?
Now, Spartum Gotham, or at least someone using his page, would go as far as commenting on DG Did It's video saying cap. So I requested the paperwork, and it's far from cap. In Florida State Prison, there is no such thing as PC, otherwise known as protective custody. Instead, it has another name, PM, or protective management. Florida doesn't offer PC yards like California or other states. Instead, they just put you in confinement, send you to a different prison until you get stabbed again, or send you to a prison that offers protective management units, aka PC dorms. Well, on June 6, 2025, inmate Nehemiah Harden, aka Spartum Gotham, would have a protective management interview with an officer. Spartum would complete a DC-6 112C, which is a witness statement form, but signed Section 3, a voluntary refusal to make a statement. The review would state Spartum was at the property line when he was assaulted by an unknown inmate. The details would be redacted and PM unit. So while Spartum allegedly signed a waiver thinking he was good in general population, he immediately got smashed off the pound and placed in a protective management before being transferred away. Now, the way they did this was essentially perfect, because when you get out of confinement, everybody knows you have to go to property. You have to go grab all your stuff that's basically been stored in there while you've been in confinement. And then they popped him just because. Now, this whole situation is ironic, being how the internet was just up in flames about Boosie saying Kodak Black was PC in the feds. Young Thug would defend Kodak, saying he was smart for being PC. And well, this is a clear-cut example of what happens when you're no good on the yard and you decide to walk it. You either fire off and get yourself removed, or you fall victim. Now, the Bloods have made it clear he's a plate as heard on the audio, meaning any compound he hits with Bloods, they are expected to remove him. But Spartum Gotham is clearly trying to stay ahead of the game, so he joined the Muslims. The one group that will accept any gang reject in Florida State Prison, defend them, protect them, etc. Honeycomb Brazy even spoke out on rappers debating PC, saying, hell nah, I ain't going to no PC. I don't give a damn if someone got a gun in the dorm. Boy, that's hard over there in PC. 23 hours a day on lockdown. You can't do nothing but be Muslim when you come home. Well, now, Spartum Gotham is Abdul Latif, and he's been transferred to Moorhaven Correctional, a private prison that only houses medium, minimum, and community custody levels. Now, the highest custody level you can have in Florida State Prison in general population is closed custody. And the fact that they aren't even allowed there, I'd assume he's at a sweet private prison they deem safe enough for him, as he's no longer in confinement. Spartum Gotham's current release date is set for January 2nd, 2027. So basically, he got popped, they transferred him, they put him somewhere sweet, private.
You sound real hard on the phone, nephew. Grab me, boy. Use a bitch, boy. Flash me, bitch. They shot my brother. Got some birds coming out. Yeah, for sure. Let's run that. Yeah, let's do that. To the back.
Give it up for the dead homies. But before we get into that, leave a like, subscribe.
At the airport while I'm talking to the Uber, I can't let this get past me. I can't. So yeah, she's about to have an issue.
DJ Ghost is a huge YouTuber from Rolling 60s. Before all these gang members was on YouTube, we had DJ Ghost telling hood stories, doing reaction videos. He's basically the godfather of the current YouTube streets. And mostly all his videos get millions of views, and he's a millionaire at this point. Shorty Shorty, on the other hand, Shorty Shorty is a rapper from Hoover Crip in Baltimore. He's also connected with the Hoovers in LA, and Hoovers are known not to get along with Rolling 60s. So it started when DJ Ghost ran into Shorty Shorty at the airport. DJ Ghost got out of his car and Shorty Shorty was right there. So Shorty Shorty said, "Sup, cuz," like just on a regular Crip greeting. So nothing really happened at that moment, and they claim to not know who each other was, but my theory is they really didn't know of each other, but DJ Ghost probably seen some reaction Shorty Shorty was getting and thought to himself like, oh, he's really a somebody. And DJ Ghost felt like he just got banged on when Shorty Shorty cuzzed him. So I'm fear that a narrative might...
I'm from over. You from over? Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. It's just that I was right there at the. I'm like, I know this nigga didn't cuz me while I'm hopping out at the. I'm betting on everything. Anywhere we at, bro. I'm.
Yeah, it's one of them. It was one of them. What's going on in these streets? What?
And V8s roaring. A gold Camaro was terrorizing the lot, the driver showing off with his girlfriend in the car, and a crowd locked on him while a helicopter watched from above. But everyone's tough until GSP shows up. Troopers locked onto the Camaro, hit the lights, and a short but chaotic chase was on.
You done. You done, my boy.
Partopia's build mode is
You
honestly
done.
amazing. Everything
You're
feels
stupid
really
and you're
intuitive,
done.
and you can move around easily, place items smoothly, and build pretty much.
You know it's a wrap.
Hands up!
Smoke was so thick, people were basically coughing through it, engines screaming, tires melting. When GSP tried to lock on, a crowd in masks rushed up and tried to block the patrol car, all the clowns thinking GSP would just stop if they stood in front of it.
You ain't got no bars. You done, buddy. You done.
Going right northbound, north side drive. 4 making right, northbound, north side drive. Go ahead.
You done.
Driving out of it.
Lexus tore down Claremont Road at high speed, weaving through traffic and nearly crashing multiple times. It cut onto Scott Boulevard, then dove hard onto Pine Tree Drive, braking aggressively and turning so sharp a pit setup was missed. Units tried to rotate, but the driver kept pushing reckless and unpredictable.
Y'all niggas ain't got whippers. You gotta have a fast whip. And you gotta be ready. And you gotta know your city where you can start hitting them straightaway streets where you can fly.
I'm really in a case. Just disregard. What's the 20 for the 1050?
Driver Michael Nunez drove like he had nothing to lose, cutting through a Wendy's lot around blind corners, blowing stop signs, and running red lights onto Bruce B. Downs and E. Fletcher. Then the Charger started falling apart mid-run. Its front left tire came off.
Did your buddy run from the
Nunez had an active failure to appear warrant, and inside the car, troopers found marijuana containers labeled to Dennis Cesar Lozano Gonzalez and a loaded FN 9mm handgun. And showing up to a street takeover with a gun and drugs in the car is a bad idea, because when you get caught, everything turns into felonies. Nunez and Lozano Gonzalez were
This next footage was captured in the North Olmsted city of Ohio at around 3 p.m. on As they are carrying items inside, a suspect suddenly appears and forces the lady to walk back into the house. He is holding a weapon. He knew that if he entered the home alone, the police would easily capture him. So, he targeted the woman to control the situation, using her as leverage to stop the officers from firing. Moments later, 2 or 3 police cars arrived. This was not his first offense. Digging into the records revealed that robbery, drug trafficking, and weapon possession had become his trade. The truth is, this man had been active in the criminal world for the bride was visiting her mother's home to comfort her after a recent family tragedy, when she faced a terrifying ordeal.
Oh yeah, nigga, Michael Myers at my door late night. I'm shooting this nigga. There is no doubt. I'ma just peek through the window. Cause like he the type of motherfucker when you just be like, and you look at your security camera like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Turn off the light. The fuck? And you just blow through the door. You don't even ask questions, because if you do, you just gonna die. That's how dumb people be. And look, he got a little squad with him. Not taking the L. Not taking that L.
Worst nightmare.
Look at the nigga walking down the street.
Your worst nightmare. Open this shit up. It's your worst nightmare. Open the door.
Yeah, I want to play dumbass games.
Through the rear entrance. Terrified, Shayla didn't just call 911. She called her brother. He arrived immediately, armed with a gun.
Nigga, he know what time it is, nigga.
They ran away when they saw Shayla's brother with weapon, but they break Shayla's backyard, exactly as Shayla reveals in the news clip.
They tore the whole thing down. They came through there, and that's how they entered to get to our door to be able to knock on the back door.
But here is the infuriating twist. After 100 hours of police investigation, the intruders were identified as Shayla's own cousins.
An adult female suspect later confessed.
Something disturbing, email me directly at FiendTapes, Ontario. It is August 31st, 2025, around 2:20 a.m.
Fucking with your own
Inside, a family is sleeping peacefully, completely unaware that 3 men are approaching their doorstep, and they are not here to knock.
Once again, a quick disclaimer. The footage you're about to see contains a violent home invasion. The family, however, survived without injury.
In the video, we see the suspects launch a violent attack. Now, look closely at the man in the center. He is clearly holding a loaded handgun. They aren't trying to pick the lock. They smash right through the front glass to force their way in. They managed to breach the SUV and caught the crew right as they were preparing for another hit. Streets. Capturing a young girl emerging from the darkness. She is holding a flashlight, breathless, and looks terrified. But a door that no one would open. When the video went viral, 2 chilling possibilities emerged to explain this scene. First, the bait. Was she being used as a small child? Acting that perfectly is nearly impossible. This leads to the second theory, Serenity Denard. Serenity was a 9-year-old girl who went missing from a youth home in South Dakota. 9 months before this video, many believe she was kidnapped, taken across state lines, and this video was her desperate attempt to escape captivity, although police never confirmed a match. To this day, the girl on the porch has never been identified.
Please.
This final footage was captured in South Vancouver.
He lowered a camera deep underground and discovered something that terrified everyone. An explorer named Jeff from the YouTube channel Ask Jeff Williams sets out to investigate an old abandoned mining park in the town of Tonopah. Jeff Williams is an experienced geologist with over 40 years of experience. In his videos, he explores strange and unsettling places in the desert, abandoned mines, caves, and other locations where gold and other valuable metals were once mined. This time, he approaches a massive mine headframe that is over 100 years old. Long ago, silver ore was lifted from deep underground through this structure. Jeff explains that many mines in this area reach depths of more than 2,500 feet. He carefully peers inside and lowers his camera into the dark mine shaft. At first, the footage shows nothing but darkness and old wooden guides that once carried the mine elevator up and down. But as the camera descends further, it becomes clear just how deep this shaft really is, hundreds of feet below the surface. Then, something strange appears.
Well, nigga, that's a whole body. Yeah, nigga, that's a body.
At a depth of around 500 feet, among debris and old structural supports, human remains come into view. A human skeleton lies against one of the supports. It appears that someone may have fallen into the shaft long ago and never made it back out. Later, the explorer contacted his colleagues to try to recover the remains from the mine. However, even after several attempts, they were unable to bring the skeleton back to the surface. The blogger decided to test the durability of his iPhone 11 Pro by intentionally dropping it into a geothermal spring while it was recording. The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel TechRacks on April 27, 2020. The creator wanted to find out what was inside the boiling water and whether the phone could survive such an extreme test. The place where he dropped the phone is called Diana's Punch Bowl, also known as a Devil's Cauldron. It's a deep circular pit in Nevada, filled with a geothermal spring of extremely hot water. The hole is about 49 feet deep, and the water temperature can reach around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. During the first drop, the phone didn't record anything unusual.
You imagine being stuck down there, nigga can't climb out?
Only the sound of the drone. But when the blogger dropped the phone again, this time from a greater height, something strange happened. The phone suddenly seemed to be surrounded by screams that sounded like human voices, as if someone was crying out for help in English. Later, the creator himself noted that the audio from the experiment sounded extremely eerie, almost like people screaming.
The audio sounded pretty eerie, and I wanted to include kind of the unaltered version here. So I have the clip here. It was 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and I edited, for the actual video. Because it's just a lot of talking, and then the drone is flying. And then I'll show you guys the actual drop here. And then right there, you could hear, it definitely sounds like some yelling. It's really weird, guys. I don't know what to think of it.
The iPhone recorded these strange underwater sounds for about 10 seconds before shutting off, most likely because of the extremely hot water. Interestingly, during the first drop, no screams were heard, and the phone did not shut down. On March 11, 2011, a reactor exploded at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant after a powerful earthquake and the tsunami that followed. The disaster was classified as level 7 on the International Nuclear Event Scale, the highest possible rating. Sometime later, a camera was lowered into the damaged reactor to see what was happening
that
inside.
shit melted.
A special robot was sent into the destroyed Fukushima Daiichi reactor, but it became stuck inside and was unable to return. However, before failing, the robot managed to transmit video footage, allowing the world to see what the inside of the reactor looked like for the first time since the disaster. The robot was equipped with a special camera designed to withstand extreme levels of radiation. The footage showed reactor debris scattered across the floor, while steam could be seen constantly rising from beneath the wreckage. radiation levels inside the reactor are off the charts, around 10 sieverts per hour. That level of radiation would be enough to kill a person within seconds.
Damn.
On January 4th, 2025, there was a major breakthrough in the case of Tommy Braley, who went missing in 2017 after visiting Brewer's Bar and Grill in Sumter, South Carolina. Tommy vanished along with his silver BMW 325i, and despite extensive searches, no trace was ever found. Years later, Adam Brown, the creator of the YouTube channel Adam Brown Adventures and an enthusiast of magnet fishing, teamed up with fellow searcher Jason Serrata to scan submerged areas along Highway 401, a route Tommy likely would have taken.
Alright, I have my drone in the water. Got it set up on the app so you can see on the screen. We're going to send her down and see what this object is. Let's go down. That's a car. I know. I think so, dude. Wait a second.
Sure as hell looks like one to me.
It looks silver too.
Dude.
No way.
It looks four-door.
It's gotta be him. A silver car right down.
That's a BMW. That's 100% a BMW.
I think we found him, man.
You're not gonna be able to tell anything. There's usually a logo right there at the top where the two grill pieces come together.
That's it. That's this BMW.
We found Tommy. I bet.
Years, the discovery finally brought long-awaited closure to his family and the local community. And a depth meter into an extremely deep well.
What?
They attach the camera to a rope and begin slowly lowering it down. At certain moments, strange sounds can be heard. There are stories claiming that at certain depths, people have heard terrifying noises, or even screams, similar to the legends surrounding the Kola super deep. It is believed in this particular video, no sounds of that intensity were captured. It's possible that the camera simply wasn't lowered deep enough. Still, the entire situation feels quite unsettling. The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Real Backcountry Boys. He discovered a mysterious mine shaft more than 1,000 feet deep. Realizing that exploring such a dangerous place with kids wasn't a good idea, he decided to come back later. Sometime afterward, he returned with his brothers to try to find out just how deep the strange shaft really was. During their first attempt, they lowered a camera down the hole using fishing line attached to a makeshift rod, but at around 1,000 feet, they ran out of line and were unable to reach the bottom. This time, they came much better prepared. They brought several thousand feet of fishing line, attached a GoPro with lights, and slowly lowered it into the dark mine shaft. The camera gradually descended deeper and deeper underground. After a while, it was already hundreds of feet below the surface, revealing old tunnels branching off from the main shaft. According to the explorers, no one had seen these parts of the mine for more than 100 years, since dangerous shafts like this are usually sealed off. But the strangest moment came when the camera finally reached the bottom. At a depth of more than 1,000 feet, the camera captured water at the bottom of the shaft, and floating on the surface was a mysterious, dark object.
Okay, it just got significantly heavier. We might need to be really careful, guys. Hang on. Yeah, it definitely went underwater, I think.
When the camera touched the water, one of the lights began to slowly fill with water, and the camera gradually started sinking deeper toward the bottom. Later, while reviewing the footage, the explorers noticed another strange detail. The entire time they were near the shaft, a strong, horrible smell was coming from inside. It turned out that the mysterious object floating in the water was most likely the body of a skunk that had fallen into the shaft from a great height. Retrieving the camera was not easy. The fishing line was barely able to support the weight of the equipment now filled with water, and it could have snapped at any moment. But after a tense struggle, they managed to pull the camera back up to the surface.
Damn.
The Nanaimo Abyss is located on Vancouver Island. The opening has a diameter of about 27.5 inches. It's wide enough for a person to fall into. The exact depth of the hole is unknown, but it's believed to reach around 5,280 feet. It's also unclear when this crack first appeared. Over the years, many eerie stories and local legends have formed around it. According to locals, several people have fallen into the abyss and never returned. Anyone who has ever ended up at the bottom of this hole remained there. Recovering the bodies is physically impossible, but that's not what this story is about. So what exactly lies at the bottom? This video was filmed by a man named Gathley. He decided to lower his GoPro as deep as possible to find out what might be hiding inside the Nanaimo Abyss. Using a rope 2,625 feet long, he slowly began lowering the camera into the hole. He made dozens of attempts to get the camera as deep as possible, but the GoPro kept getting caught on protruding branches and roots. After more than 4 hours, he finally managed to lower the camera to a depth of about 1,640 feet. Although he didn't capture anything unusual, the experiment itself turned out to be quite fascinating. Oil and gas wells can reach depths of up to 15,840 feet. In the past, depths like these could only be explored using specialized instruments. However, with the development of modern video equipment, it has become possible to actually see what is happening at such extreme depths. At the bottom of a well, temperatures can reach around 260 degrees Fahrenheit. Because of the enormous depth, transmitting live video is extremely difficult. However, this problem has been solved with new types of cameras that send a rapid sequence of images back to the surface. As the camera descends, it gradually reveals the structure of the entire well, from the opening at the surface, down through the borehole, and deeper underground. During drilling, the walls of the well are reinforced with special casing pipes, although they do not always appear in the footage. As the camera continues its descent, you can see fluids and water circulating inside the well, moving through the chamber as part of the drilling process. In this video, a camera is lowered to a depth of nearly 3 miles. Even footage captured from that far below the surface can change the way we think about what lies beneath the earth. But an even more astonishing discovery was made beneath 2,953 feet of solid ice. Scientists found 12 species of organisms that had never been known to science before. The discovery happened almost by accident. Geologists working on a glacier in Antarctica came across a massive boulder and decided to lower a camera beneath the ice. The camera soon transmitted images of mysterious creatures. The researchers were working on the Falconer-Rowney ice shelf in western Antarctica. The leader of the geological team ordered a deep tunnel to be drilled so they could collect samples from beneath the glacier. After drilling the hole, a camera was lowered into the shaft. The total depth of the borehole reached 4,409 feet. However, the camera was unable to reach the very bottom because it was blocked by a huge boulder. It was beneath this boulder that scientists discovered an unexpected variety of life. The organisms were divided into 3 groups. Among them was a previously unknown subspecies of sea sponge, along with about 10 similar organisms of roughly the same size. Researchers also discovered another species of sponge. However, scientists still have more questions than answers. Normally, organisms cannot survive that deep beneath a glacier, since there is almost no oxygen and virtually no food source. To understand how these creatures manage to survive in such extreme conditions, scientists will need to collect more samples from the bottom and conduct further research. Interestingly, geologists later discovered another similar boulder beneath the glacier in a different location, and if it hadn't been for this accidental discovery, no one might have ever known that life could exist in such extreme conditions. The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Wild Venture Outdoors. In it, the creator returns to find out what lies at the bottom of the old shaft. The two climb up to the opening and prepare a makeshift setup. They attach several lights to the camera and tie it to a long fishing line so they can slowly lower it all the way to the bottom. As the camera begins its descent, the sound of flapping wings echoes through the shaft. It turns out that dozens of pigeons have made their nests deep inside. The camera continues sinking deeper underground. The walls of the shaft are made of solid rock, and it feels as if no one has seen these sections for decades. The descent takes several minutes. According to the creator, they assumed they might see large boulders or old objects down there. According to the creator, the bottom likely appears so clean because rocks, sand, and debris constantly fall into the shaft over time, gradually burying anything that may have been there before. Even though nothing unusual was found at the bottom, the experiment itself turned out to be surprisingly fascinating.
All right. Thank y'all for tapping in, Mr. Zoop. Y'all be rocking with me, and I'll be rocking with y'all. Till next time, man. Y'all be cool and smooth.